and welcome to the Book Bunch. My name is Sam. It's so great to have you guys here for another video. I am so sorry that this video has taken so long to get out. I submitted my last uni assignment like 5 minutes ago. So yes, that is uni done for this year. So you will have me back to normal starting next week. I'm so sorry. It's been a very difficult term. Yeah, I've been absolutely smashed. Not just time-wise, but like mentally and emotionally and just everything. It's been really rough, a really rough counselling term. So yes, sorry about that. In addition to that, if you missed the announcement, I am also pregnant, and my energy levels have been through the absolute floor. So there's that too that I've been struggling with, and of course I have my 2-year-old. So overall, things have been a disaster, but we are on the up and up stretch. We are going back up the mountain. We are no longer in that valley, so bear with me. I will definitely be pumping out some more videos and finally reading again, because look, if you checked out my Goodreads at all in the last 3 months, you'll probably see it's been pretty bare. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a solid like 2 months where I didn't pick up a single book, which is just insane to me. So I don't even know if I'll meet my reading goal anymore. I'm like 20 books off that or something, and I don't even know if I'll make that, but we'll see. We'll power through and try our best. Sorry, I keep rubbing my eyes. I'm like itchy all over the place. But yes, today I have a very short list of 5-star Kindle reads that I wanted to add on, because they should also be included in the best books of my last 2 years on BookTube. This list will probably grow very quickly, very soon, just because I have book 3 of Recorder waiting for me, and I have book 2 of Calor waiting for me as well, and I just haven't got to them. They haven't, like, I've got advanced copies, so they haven't actually released yet, so it's okay that they'll make it next year. But yes, I just thought I'd let you know that as well. But yes, this list is pretty short. I haven't, like, this was my first year getting into ebooks. And so it's literally just been the last like 6-8 months of stuff, which is why it's nowhere near as long as the physical reads. And also I feel for some reason that I might be a bit more brutal when it comes to rating ebooks. And I don't know why. I don't know if like that's like, I don't think I'm consciously doing it. I don't really know. But yes, the list is much shorter. So starting off is the Royal Rose Chronicles. That includes like Oathbound and Silver Bounty and stuff. They are pirate books. I've talked about them a few times on the channel now. I absolutely love them. Book 3 didn't quite make the 5-star mark for me. It was like a 4.5. But the first 2 books, oh my goodness, they were like action-packed, intense, and amazing. The only reason book 3 didn't quite hit the mark was just because it felt a little bit too easy compared to the rest of the series. And so that was my only issue with it. But that's very minor, and you should probably ignore me on that anyway. So yes, if you like pirates, but you don't like all the swearing and the sexual content that can be found in those kind of stories, this one is for you. It is especially, and it's like in no way a like easy pirate book either. Like there's definitely murder and fighting and terrible curses and all sorts of things going on. So you won't miss out on any of that if you do enjoy that stuff as well. I do. It is a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. Yes, it's probably not wholesome, but yes, I can tolerate a little bit of violence without it bothering me too much, especially if it's like good versus evil kind of violence. If it's just people being bad, which I have read before, I felt that way about the Scythe trilogy. I was like, no, this is not good. So I do have a limit, but yes, again, personal preference. Then there's the Spirits Valley duology, which I loved this duology. At this stage, it is staying as a duology as far as I know. She initially was only going to have it as a standalone, and then I think everyone loved it so much and she loved the world so much that she made the second book, which they are different from each other in the fact that they follow two separate tribes, and there is some crossover in story. But it's like different people's perspectives. And there's also a lot of backstory that you wouldn't know about otherwise. So the first one is called Grey Wolf's Heart. I would recommend starting there. Just because, yeah, there is a bit spoilery stuff. If you jump straight into Saber's Pride, which is the second one. But basically they both follow male perspective, which I love. Because it's actually like, it's male perspective on like a subconscious conscious level, in the fact that like you hear his thoughts and the struggle that these guys are having with their emotions and like the standards and their daddy issues and all sorts of things. And you very rarely get that vulnerability of men in books or in media in general. And I think it needs to be out there a lot more, because men definitely have emotions and stress and struggle too. And I loved how well she wrote this. Yeah, it was just really awesome. And yeah, so it's about, Grey Wolf's Heart is about this pack, their tribe, and these people, they have these giant wolves. And they end up getting into this war with the neighboring tribe, which is the Sabers. And the Sabers have these big saber cats. And so, yes, it was just really interesting. I really liked it. Then there is The Soul Mark, which I love this book. Book 2 comes out next year. Beware if you don't like cliffhangers that are extremely emotional and leave you with your heart thrown on the floor. Maybe wait on reading Soul Mark until book 2 comes out. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, Soul Mark was really good. This was marketed to me as a pirate story, but I wouldn't market it as that. It doesn't hit the piratey mark if that's what you are used to or expecting. But it was still really good. It is a romance, but like, I think it's considered fantasy romance. But it was really good. I don't even really like, well, I lie. I like romance in stories where romance isn't the main focus. Like, I like a little bit of romance, a little bit of love story trickled into my magic or my sci-fi or whatever. Like, that being said, it has to be like happy endings only, and I can't deal with like any kind of smart affairs, any of that kind of, like, I don't like love triangles. I'm not about any of that. But yes, so I actually really enjoyed this, and this was the most romancy fantasy I have read, in terms of like, I feel like it was meant to be a romance first, and then it was just put in a fantasy setting. If it's even considered fantasy, like, it's kind of a mix of fantasy and historical, I would say, because it's meant to be old-timey. I don't know. I'd have to check what the genre is for you guys. But yes, The Soul Mark was pretty good. It's basically about this girl who lives in a world where really like a structured religion reigns, and they sacrifice children, well, teenagers every year or every few years or whatever, to this island, and they take their souls, and that what that looks like is a big brand on their hand called the soul mark, and yeah, these people are said to have no soul and are sent to this island where they basically have to fight for their lives, and it's really bad. But we follow this one girl. Her sister was taken as a sacrifice and she was not okay with it. And then she ends up getting exiled there as a prisoner because she killed a man in self-defense who was trying to do horrible things to her and her little sister. But they didn't believe her because he was like some rich guy's son or whatever. And so, yes, she gets her soul taken from her and sent to this island. And along the way, she gets assigned to this guy who she kind of grew up with. He is like training to be like a priest or whatever. And so he's also going to this island because they have like soldiers and priests and stuff on this island that like try to contain it, I guess, as much as possible. And make sure that no one leaves, that kind of thing. And so he's gone to do his stint on the island as his final part of his training, and he like, yeah, gets assigned her, and like it's this whole thing. But yes, there's like a whole storyline then with her sister, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But yeah, the last like 2 pages are like, whoo, okay, so I'm leaving it there. Then there is Vivid and Radiant. Book 3 comes out really soon. I think it's early next year, if I remember correctly. But this series I really enjoyed. It's a bit more YA than adult. And it's like magic school, which I love. You guys know I love that. So we follow this girl who, how do I explain this? It's a world where there's 3 color types, and these 3 color types give you magic. So there's yellow, blue, and red. Yellow has been outlawed, and so it's basically blue and red everywhere. And also, as a result, all yellow things have like disappeared from the world because you fuel your power through sucking the color out of things. Anyway, we follow this girl who is training to be red, I think. And yes, she ends up having an interaction with a yellow person who is like wanted and on the run, and she gets all tangled up with this guy who is the yellow guy, and it kind of turns her whole world on its head because she doesn't know who to believe, because this yellow guy's like, no, they've lied to you your whole life, like we're fine, like we're not dangerous. And then, obviously, all she's ever known is that the yellow are dangerous and need to be wiped out. So, yes, it's very interesting. I really enjoyed it. I don't know that I loved book 2 as much as book 1 because she got a little bit annoying. Like, she's a teen. Like, she has teen reactions to things, and at times I was like, girl, I could smack you. But yes, overall the story was really good. She was totally tolerable in the first book, so I don't know why it was so triggered in the second. But I'm hoping that the series ends out well. I know Celestia is also hoping for that as well because she really enjoyed it. But yes, that is Vivid. I think it's called like the Color Theory Trilogy or something. Then there is Calor. Calor, second book, I've got sitting in my Kindle library because I got the advanced copy. It comes out in 2 weeks. So if you read Calor now, you will be in perfect timing for the second book to release. It is a trilogy. I foolishly got excited and thought it was a duology, and I was like, yay, I finally know the ending. No, I still have to wait till the start of next year for the third book, because the third book comes out like start to mid next year, something like that. At least I hope I'm not fibbing. I know it comes out next year. I know it definitely comes out next year. I just can't remember what time. But anyway, Calor is about this girl who she can manipulate memories and basically like help people to forget them, or like change little things about people's memories, stuff like that. And she is like a slave basically in this bar, and is working for this horrible man who she doesn't really have much of a choice. But then one day this guy walks in and he's like, yo girl, I will like free you and pay you ridiculous amounts of money if you come with me to collect this artifact, which will enhance your powers and give you the ability to completely wipe this these couple of people from my memory, because his wife and his child had died and he wasn't coping and he wanted all memory of them to be erased. And she was like, I can't do that. And he's like, if we get this artifact, you absolutely can, because it will complete your powers, basically. She doesn't want to go, but is ultimately forced into it. And so she's also kind of on the run with this guy. They pick up a second guy on the way. So there's 3 of them. They all have very different powers. It's very cool. Yes. I don't know what else I can tell you without really spoiling it, but it's really, really good. And I loved it. I loved every moment of it. And if I hadn't have had uni the last couple of weeks, as intently as I had, I would have read it already. Book 2, that means. Okay, and then finally, I want to give a shout out to A Natural History of Dragons, book 1. That one is not a Christian, not written by a Christian. It is clean from my memory. I believe it's clean. I haven't read the rest of the series. I don't know that I will. Just because the first one kind of ends in a good place if you don't want to continue. And also, I don't want to continue because of the emotional impact. I know that if I continue on, it'll probably lead to heartbreak for me. And I just can't. I just can't do that right now. That being said, I might revisit the series when I'm a little bit more emotionally put together. But yes, it was really good, especially if you like Indiana Jones meets dragons. That's basically what it is. But also if Indiana Jones was like almost emotionless, because and like it talks about it in the story, like she's got like a severe lack of emotions. It's so interesting. I love it when characters are like that. I don't know if she's meant to be like neurodivergent of some kind. I really don't know what the author was actually intending, but it's set in like kind of Pride and Prejudice time, except there's dragons. And yeah, she becomes like a natural historian and kind of almost a bit like an archaeologist. That's why I say Indiana Jones-esque, because there's like a bit of fighting and treasure hunting and people in danger and people being chased and all sorts of things going on. But yeah, so it has Indiana Jones vibes. But that is everything for today. Sorry I kind of rambled on a little bit. They are all of my best books for the last 2 years of BookTube. I realized as well I missed a couple of physical books, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter. Like I forgot to put Caraval in there, and there was literally one other that I thought about the other day, and I was like, why didn't that make it on the list? And that's just because I have already packed it away. But that's fine. You guys don't need to see every single book that I read that I enjoyed over the last 2 years. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I am going to be doing another video, hopefully mid to late next week. That will be some books that I have read lately. They're kind of just a mix of genres because I have been trying to get myself out of a reading slump at the same time. So it's just literally been what's taken my fancy. And then after that, we should be back to normal programming, like once a week. There will be a video type of situation. But yes, anyway, that is everything. You guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.